2018 Ford Raptor with a suggested resale value of almost $70,000. I have it listed for $48,000. Why? Because it has a reconstructed title. And today's video is all about reconstructed, salvaged, repaired, rebuilt, flood damage, whatever, a branded title. Today's videos are about branded titles, why I'm not afraid of them, why you shouldn't be afraid of them, what's the difference between each, and what you need to look out for when purchasing a vehicle with a branded title. My name is Craig from Flying Wheels. Welcome to my Flying Wheels YouTube channel. Let's get going. So hey everyone, my name is Craig from Flying Wheels. Welcome to my Flying Wheels YouTube channel. I own a small car dealership in Danville, New Hampshire, and we sell just about everything from $2,000 Honda Accords to $50,000 Ford Raptors and $100,000 Corvettes. I'm all over the place, and we sell a little bit of everything, most of which is what makes me smile. But in our area of the country, everything's cyclical, seasonal. So sometimes Corvettes don't sell in January, they sell in July. And trucks sell in December, but they're not that popular in July. So everything kind of moves around. That's not what this video is about. This video is about this 2018 Ford Raptor with 17,000 miles. And why is it priced $20,000 under what it should be listed at? Well, I'm going to get into that. This truck right here has 17,000 miles. These things are still worth $70,000. It's weird, it's wild. The market on specialty vehicles, especially the Raptors, are insane. And most don't make sense. Now, I've bought cars with reconstructed, rebuilt titles before, and I'm explaining the difference between all of them. And it doesn't just pertain to something this new. I've bought them with $2,500 cars, which I'm actually in favor of. Typically, the more expensive you get, the more of a headache it's going to be. With inexpensive cars, I don't worry nearly as much as I do with cars like this. Now let's get started. I'm going to talk about this truck specifically because I know the title and the history of this vehicle. This truck was hit right here with 14,000 miles. Now, it was hit bad enough that the headlight and the fender and the bumper had to be replaced, but the hood wasn't replaced. So it wasn't bad enough to actually have to replace this hood. The reason it had a salvage title is because the driver's airbag was deployed. And that is an expensive repair. That is a significant damage. That is a significant collision to a new vehicle. Now, if the repairs equal or are greater than a certain percentage of the vehicle, the insurance company will total the car. So I'm going to explain the process of going from a crash car to totaled vehicle to a salvage title all the way up to being able to register it and title it in all 50 states again. Once this car is hit and an insurance claim is paid out and the insurance buys the vehicle back, it is then salvaged. The vehicle has a salvage title and it cannot be registered without being repaired. And there's a list of needed repairs that the vehicle needs to make to be able to get retitled. So when I say a salvage title, a lot of people look at vehicles and say, does this have a salvage title? No, this car does not have a salvage title. It is beyond the salvage title. It has a reconstructed title or a rebuilt title. So the insurance company will issue a salvaged title. And what that is means this car has a crash history or a flood damage history or a stolen theft damage. Something has happened to this vehicle where a significant claim has been paid out and those repairs need to be made. You can buy cars from the insurance company directly. Sometimes you can buy your car back from the insurance company after the claim has been made. So let's say the insurance company gave me $40,000 for this truck and I still want to fix it myself. You're able to do that. You're allowed to do that. So you can buy the vehicle back from the insurance company. So let's say instead of them giving you a check for $40,000, they might give you a check for $15,000 because there's $15,000 worth of repairs needed and you think you can do it for less than $15,000, so it's worth it. It's in your favor to do that. So you can buy the vehicle back at a discount and then get a check for less than they were originally going to issue you. Now it's up to you to repair this vehicle. Now, like I said, I'm going to use this truck as an example because this is the one that I have in my lot that has a reconstructed title. So it was hit here. This section needed to be repaired according to the standards of the insurance company, according to the standards of the state. Now, my state has state troopers that will actually inspect repaired vehicles. So now we have a salvage title. It's been repaired. We've done all the repairs. Maybe you're a body shop. Maybe you did it privately. Maybe you paid a body shop to do it. You then take your vehicle to the inspection station. This is how it works in New Hampshire and in most states as well. An officer or an inspector will go through the vehicle, verify the repairs were made, make sure it's safe for the road again, and then reissue you a title application for a new title. What kind of title? Well, you'll get a rebuilt or reconstructed title is what it's called. Now, this title makes it for your vehicle to be registered in the United States again. So you can take it to a DMV, and you can take it to an RMV or the town hall or whatever you call it, wherever you're from, and you can register the vehicle again and get a new title in your name. Now, when you get that new title, it's going to be a branded title because it has a branded history to it. What does that mean? Well, it's just a title. Nobody looks at their titles anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But you'll get a branded title that says flood damage, prior theft or recovered theft, or reconstructed title, prior collision. Whatever happened to it, it'll be labeled on the title. And oftentimes, let's see if my truck has it, you'll get a decal from the inspector that tells you that it was reconstructed. So let's see, it's usually in the door somewhere. Now, this one was repaired in California, not in New Hampshire, but typically there is a sticker somewhere on the door that says that it was repaired. Now, here's the weird thing about this truck and why you need to check your vehicle history reports. You'll notice there's no sticker that I was just explaining. I mean, you can peel them off. It's illegal to peel them off. I think it's a felony if you do. This truck has no sticker. The weird thing, and the reason I know this has reconstructed title or prior collision history, is because I checked the Carfax before I bought it. So if I check the Carfax, it'll tell me prior collision reconstructed title. The weird thing is when I look at the title, it is a completely clean title. There's nothing that says that it has been reconstructed. It sold at an insurance auction though, and sometimes when they sell at insurance auctions, they can have, I don't know, salvage title history. It depends on how it was announced by the auctioneer. So it doesn't really mean that the title has a salvage title or had a salvage title, has a reconstructed title. It doesn't mean that at all. It may have just been sold at an insurance auction with a clean title, and somebody made the repairs and then they just transfer the title. Easy. That's pretty much your best bet for buying these things, because then the title history isn't reconstructed. But that doesn't mean there wasn't prior collision. Now, when I buy a car at the auction, they make announcements. Unibody, frame damage, prior accident history, prior flood damage, lemon buyback. All those things can affect your title, can affect your resale value. And when an auctioneer announces it, it goes onto the vehicle history report. So let's just say I bought, if you've ever watched any of my videos, I bought a 2017 Cummins 2500 Ram that had a dent right here in the rocker panel. The auctioneer announced unibody damage. Unibody is the structure of the vehicle. That's frame damage. So as soon as that ding was announced as unibody damage, it now goes on the vehicle history report as frame damage, which really affects the resale value, but doesn't affect the title of the vehicle. You still have a clean title, but if you check the history, it says unibody damage or frame damage. It really affects the resale value. Now, why am I not afraid to buy this vehicle? Because you can save thousands and tens upon thousands of dollars on a reconstructed title vehicle. Forget all the washed history that I talked about with this car. Let's just say it has a regular old reconstructed title. It was crashed, someone did the repairs, they got it certified, they got a new reconstructed title, you can sell it. Well, instead of $70,000, this truck is $48,000. So you can get a huge, massive discount on a vehicle because it has a reconstructed history or a prior collision history. Here's the problem though, you really have to know a lot about what you're buying because it depends who put it together. Just because somebody certified it or they stamped it or they put a sticker on it doesn't mean that it was done right. Doesn't mean that the car is perfect or brand new again. Now, this has 17,000 miles, and every single time I have bought something with a reconstructed title, I've found something quirky about it. For example, perfect. It's clean. Everything looks new. But you'll see here, there's like some damage. This is a foam pad. There's some damage right there. I don't know what it's from, and that's a weird spot to have damage. And the other thing are these 3 wires. What do these 3 wires go to? I don't know. I don't know why they're there. Everything functions, but I don't know why there's 3 loose wires on a 17,000 mile truck. Now let me show you some other stuff. So this hood is the original hood. You'll see the decals are all there. Everything's here. If you look closely, you can tell that it was resprayed, and that's resprayed meaning repainted, but it's still the Ford factory hood. So the impact wasn't bad enough to actually even affect the hood, which is kind of neat. Now, one of the things I talk about when you talk about getting really quirky, this truck has a front camera because it's meant for off-road. So when I go off-road, I can see what's in front of the vehicle because of the camera. Here's the camera. You can see that it works. It shows up right here. That's the front of the vehicle. But you'll see here, lane system malfunction. Let's hit OK. Front camera service required. And lane keep system malfunction service required. Those things didn't have to be fixed to be repaired, to make sellable, to make registered. So you have to know, like, who put it back together? Who did what to it? Was it done right? Did they cut corners? Did they cut costs? Did they run out of money? Did they just try to make it sellable? So if somebody's fixing it to sell it, you really have to watch out. You don't know what you're getting into. If somebody's fixing it for themselves, or better, an insurance company's buying it or an auto body shop's buying it to repair, they have better means of doing things correctly. Not to say that they will, but most should do them correctly. So I'm not terribly worried about what you're getting into when you buy it. But you do have to make sure you're going through the vehicle. Best way to do it, have a body shop re-inspect it for you, or a dealer re-inspect it. Now you got to watch out, because I bought a 2021 Jeep Wrangler in the spring. I took it to the Jeep dealer to have them go through it for me. Oh yeah, everything's great. Sold it. Somebody bought it, took it to a body shop because there was something making noise. Loose parts. They found all kinds of problems that the previous owner like neglected or skipped and kind of cheaped out on that I didn't see. And when I took it to the dealer, they didn't see it either. So you really should be taking it to like certified appraisers or adjusters or body shops to really go through it, so you know what you're getting into. Now, a car like this, when you're saving $20,000, you're gonna have to look past certain things. Like this right here. You'll see there's a little bit of wear in the seat. It's tough to see, but the reason I'm making this video is I had someone come out and look at this thing. They expected it to be a brand new 2018 17,000 mile Raptor. It's not. It is not. It is $20,000 less than a normal Raptor, and there's a reason. You can't expect this to be a $70,000 Raptor when it's $38,000 or $48,000. It's not the same vehicle. So my Jeep Wrangler, if you're buying a 21 Jeep Wrangler with 1,000 miles, but it has a frame damage history or whatever it was, don't buy it expecting it to be a brand new car. It's not. If you want a brand new car or you're picky, go buy a brand new car. It's not going to happen when you're buying something with a reconstructed title. Now, flood damage is something you really have to look out for. I don't want to mess with electronics. I don't want to mess with wiring. I don't want to mess with computers. There's a lot that can go wrong from flood damage. That's that right? From flood damage. You don't want to. I don't want to dig into it, and that's on you if you feel like it. An accident can be fixed. A flood can screw up some serious stuff. So it's something to look out for. That's my best case scenario. A recovered theft. You can get, your car can be stolen, your insurance company can pay it out, then the car can be recovered, then it goes to an insurance auction so the insurance can get their money back, and that's it. Sometimes the car is still a great car, it's just that somebody stole it and a claim's been paid. So that's a really great scenario. I'm never too worried about reconstructed titles as long as the repairs have been done well. You just have to know, as a buyer, you're not getting a brand new car. Now, talk about cheap cars. I love buying $2,500 reconstructed title cars, because it might be a $6,500 car to somebody if it had a clean title, but because it's reconstructed, it's $2,500 or $3,000. Now somebody on a budget can buy a fairly decent car for half price or 75% of the price, which is great for them. It's great for you. And if they know the history ahead of time, they are going to, they're not nearly as picky. Now, every time I sell a car with any type of history even if it doesn't say it on the title, but it says it in the history report, like this one has a clean title, but it says it in the history report, I'm gonna make people initial and they acknowledge they've received a copy of the history report, that there's accident damage, so on and so on. Now there are a couple things I wanna mention. It is difficult to finance something with a reconstructed title. So you might be looking at a car for $30,000 or $40,000 and then you go to your credit union and they won't finance it. So number one, it's really hard for you to buy it. But if you're a dealer looking to sell these things, these are cash cars. You can't finance these things through a lot of banks. So it's something to consider when you're buying or selling. Now the opportunity is there for you if you're a buyer, because if you're a cash buyer, it's hard to sell this. Someone comes with cash, I'm more likely to accept it. Easy sale, easy peasy, it goes. And transaction's over, and you got an even better deal because you can negotiate, because you have the leverage. You have a cash buyer. Now there's something else you have to worry about if you're a buyer. A lesser person might not announce that this has accident history. I put it in the description, I put it in the ad, I put it on the Facebook Marketplace ads. I want people to know so they don't come back at me after the sale and say, hey, the history says that this thing has like an accident or a reconstructed title. There's a difference between having an accident and having a reconstructed title. Any car could get into an accident and it'll show up on the history report if it was paid out or repaired. That doesn't mean it has like a salvage history or reconstructed history. This is a really, really weird one. I have a clean title, but when you check the history, it shows it had a reconstructed history from a prior collision. That's weird and rare, and that's why you have to check your history reports. But a lesser dealer, I could sell this to somebody on the other side of the country, and if they don't check the history report, I'm sending them down the road with a clean title. The credit union, unless they check the history, isn't even going to know that it has an accident in it, so hopefully they check it. So I don't have to say that about this specific car, but if you do that, it's going to come on you on the back end. I mean, life will come at you, karma will come at you, or they could find out and then sue you on the back end for it because you didn't announce it, or you just generally being not a good person. So make sure if you know something like this, you are announcing it. So I'm not terribly afraid to buy things with a reconstructed title, and it depends who you're buying them from. But I am in a 2018 Ford Raptor with 17,000 miles that should be $70,000 that I paid a fraction of the price for. So you can get some great deals if you're not worried about the vehicle history report or the vehicle title label. I mean, this truck should be $20,000 more than I have it listed for, $22,000. So that's really a cool opportunity. And it's the same with my Jeep Wrangler that I sold this year. I sold a 21 Wrangler that was way less than somebody saved about $10,000 on a Jeep Wrangler with 800 miles. So the opportunities are out there if you're not terribly afraid of it. Just know what you're getting into before you buy it. Also, selling things with any type of repaired title, announce it in the listing, okay? Don't have people call you and then you have to tell them. It's a lot of work for you, and you're getting way more calls than you need to for people to find out that it has a reconstructed title, and then they're not interested anyway, or then you have to tell the story over and over. Be upfront, be transparent at the beginning, it'll save you time in the end. Although not everybody's mentally all there, even though I wrote reconstructed title in the first line of the heading, I still have 5 calls a day on this truck to say, why is it so cheap? Dude, just read the listing, please. Before you even call me, just read the listing, and it would have saved us both time. And now when people call about it, I just say, you know it has a reconstructed title, right? Okay, let's move forward and progress in the conversation, because people don't take the 10 seconds to read an ad. They'd rather take the 5 minutes to make a phone call or an hour drive versus taking 10 seconds to read a description. It's just weird, wild, wacky stuff. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. If you buy something with a reconstructed title, don't worry about it. You can register it in all 50 states. It's fairly simple. You do have to be careful though, because some states will issue you, and it's called a washed title. They'll wash the title. So let's say you buy a car in Alabama that has a reconstructed title. They'll take it to New Jersey, I think does that. New Jersey will issue a title that doesn't say reconstructed or salvaged or rebuilt or recovered theft or anything. Now you don't know. So you don't know what you're getting unless you check the history report. So if you find any type of accident damage, any type of wear, misaligned panels, paint work, it's good to check your auto check or your Carfax or your vehicle history report to know what you're. If this video is helpful, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up. I put a lot of information in here, so I think this should be helpful. If you're into anything auto related, make sure to subscribe. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all later. Have a great day. Adios.